What is the role of a police officer? In today's time, an officer is an individual who is designed to protect the community in which they serve. Public opinion has been changing toward the average officer as of late due to a number of instances of police violence and shootings, seemingly spurred by any number of things, from racism to abuse of power. Many cops seem very disconnected from the fact that when they do shoot someone, the information provided in this speech is as accurate as possible, though I understand the topics that I am discussing are controversial. There is no official statistics, there are no available for these instances. However, the FBI has said that they will revamp their recording methods over coming years. As of late, there's been a drastic increase of police-involved violence, and the numbers, as reported by The Guardian in the Community database, the statistics show that though many times racism is claimed in these cases, statistics show that the actual numbers are about equal. However, when you look at the number of shootings of armed to unarmed civilians, the numbers are drastically different, very much going up in the minority sector and very much down in the Caucasian sector. For many individuals, the main problem here with these situations is how they are handled. These instances are handled by the department in which the officer is assigned. This creates a lot of controversy as to, are they handling the situation accurately? Are they being unbiased? And in many cases, it seems that is not the case. Especially, seemingly, for example, the prosecutor. The prosecutor is not required to recuse themselves when one of their related officers is involved. This can be bad because they work with them on a daily basis. Other factors people have an issue with is the fact that there's a lack of transparency. Many times, the departments don't want to release any information until they, quote, have all the information available. The issue with this is that rarely is that done in other cases. When there's a citizen-on-citizen act of violence, details are readily available within a couple of weeks at the latest. And often with these shootings, it can take months for even minor details to emerge. The other major issue is that police officers in many states have what is known as an Officer Bill of Rights. This is a list of rights they are entitled to as an officer, which are very advantageous for them in these kinds of situations. For example, they are not required to make a statement for at least 10 days. This is supposed to be a time for them to be obtaining a lawyer so they don't have to make themselves look guilty. However, many advocates argue that it's an opportunity for the cops to get their story in order and make it more believable. Additionally, investigators are only allowed to question them for brief stints of hours, for approximately 4 hours at a time, with numerous breaks involved for going to the restroom or getting something to refresh themselves, as reported by HuffPo. Let's look at a case that is hit more close to home. On November 9th, my neighbor was shot and killed by the Grayson County Sheriff. While information about this is still emerging, I'm very close to the family and have an intimate knowledge of the situation. As reported by WMYO, Chris was involved in a domestic dispute with his wife, in which the police were called. Chris met the police in the driveway with a pistol and fired on them, at which time the Grayson County Sheriff returned fire, killing him. While the family does not blame the cops for their initial actions at the scene, his widow has questioned why Chris, after having stayed in a number of mental institutions and having had his weapons taken away from him, why they were re-released back to him. This speech has covered a number of topics. However, as I said before, the information here is as accurate as possible. Thank you for your time.